Welcome to our Facebook Live crafting session from Come Crafting with Jill and Jez. I'm Jill.
And I'm Jez.
And on the first Saturday of every month, we do a joint live crafting session over in our Facebook group, Come Crafting with Jill and Jez. If you'd like to watch along live next time, please come and join our group. There'll be a link below this video. I hope you enjoy watching.
Rectangles, and then there's a heart and 2 circles. Really lovely set. So I'm going to be using those on my card today. Like I say, they're only available online. Radiating dies, they're called. You won't find them in the catalogue, but I think they're really great. And my card today uses them. See, around the edge here, I've used the bigger one. And then the white panel is this one of the smaller ones. And the only thing about them is they're made for American card sizes, so they're a bit small for our A4 cards. So you'll need to cut it down a little bit. But I'll show you what I did. So, and then on here, the flowers, most of the flowers that I've used here are from another new set. This is in the catalogue, but I know it's passed a lot of people by. It was the first thing I spotted, and it was the first thing I knew I wanted. But they weren't available on pre-order, so I had to wait until I got my order, which came on Friday. And they're called the Paper Florist dies, and you've just got all these different combinations of flowers that you can make with these. Love, love, love them. We've got a fringed one here to do centres of flowers. I'm going to have a real good play with them later on, but for today I'm just using a few of them. So I made my flowers with these dies. I cut out 4 of those for each flower. This one I cut out 4 of those for the white flower. My centres are this one and this one, and then little sprigs with little tulip heads or buds there. Then I use the leaf sprig, and then this die is from the Cheerful Daisies. That's not from the set, but I just thought that filled it out nicely. So let's have a look at how I made it. I have done most of the die cutting. I hope all of the die cutting actually, so that you're not bored to tears watching me cut and die cut. Yeah, Jess is saying I knew you'd love this set. This was the only, I have to admit, this was the only thing in the catalogue that I got really excited about. Other things I thought, yeah, okay, yeah. But this set of dies I knew that I had to have. So let's make a start. Here's my normal card base. And so I'm going to score it in the same, oh no, that way around, same place as I normally would, which is at 10.5. But I'm going to do this first. It's going to trim it at 14. So normally my card base would be either 15 or 14.5. Today I'm trimming it to 14, which means that hopefully my radiating die will fit and leave a sort of fairly equidistant border around there, like that, using Petal Pink today as one of the colours. Right, now before I put my trimmer away, I need to cut a border so that you've got a tiny border around this white die, and I'm going to do that in bubblegum again. So all I'm changing today is the colour of the mat. So here I used Fresh Freesia. This time I'm using Petal Pink, which I think goes quite nicely with the Bubble Bath, new colour Bubble Bath. So for this panel, it needs to be 7 by 10.5. So, and that will give you a 2mm border all the way around. So 10.5 by 7. And as you will have noticed, very little stamping again. I'm going through a phase of really loving die cut cards without very much stamping on, mainly because I don't really like any of the stamp sets, but I do like some of the dies, so I'm going with that at the moment. Right, so this will layer onto there really nicely, like that. So I'm going to take a bit of Tombow, layer that on. And I think there's a lot of colour combinations you could do. I'm quite tempted to do a really bright one with bright, vivid colours of this card, and it will probably look very different. But for today, I'm still going with the subtles. I'm loving this bubblegum pink, really loving it. It tones really well with Fresh Freesia and quite a few of the other colours, so that's really good. Nice to have colours that tone. There we go. And then this is going to lay on here. Just take my bone folder I'm sorry, I'm so busy working I can't really see comments. I can see a few comments. I know Jez has commented about Mother's Day. I'm presuming that's because we may have one of our American friends on the call today, on the live, and their Mother's Day, I believe, is today. Ours is way back in March, but I think we're out of step because I heard on Eurovision last night somebody saying that it was Mother's Day in most European countries as well. So I think it's just the Brits that are a bit out of step with that. But we like to do things our own way, us Brits, don't we? There. And then this is going to sit in the middle there, like that. Makes such a lovely background for your cards. Imagine you could, so many things you could do on this background. I just couldn't wait to play with the paper florist dies, so that was what I went with. But so many things you could do with this pretty background. There we go. And then I can put that away for a minute while I show you what I did with the flowers. So, like I say, I have die cut and I've pre-prepared some of the flowers that we'll need. All of the flowers, but I haven't prepared them all. So this flower here, I'm going to show you first of all how I made that. So we need 4 of the bigger 4-petal flowers that I showed you the die of in the pack. And then I'm going to, with my bone folder, just curl up the petals just slightly. Like so. There we go. And another one. And one last one. And then it's just a case of layering them on top of each other. Now, if you've got time, what I would suggest is you do one like that and another one like that, and just give them a little bit of time to dry before you layer them on top. Obviously, I haven't got that time today, so it might be a little bit more tricky because they do tend to move around a little. So like I say, just make a cross like that. I'm going to carry on, but I think it would be easier to do two with 2 petals, 2 sets of petals, and then add this one. But as I'm on camera, I'm just going to plough on. There we go. Like so. That's that flower, and then you've just got this lovely starburst. And I know what Jez is going to say this reminds her of, because we had a die a bit like this before, and all she could see was the coronavirus. So I'm sure she's going to think that again with this die, but it makes a lovely flower centre. So those are my 2 big flowers for there. Then the little one, you need 4 of the smaller petal dies. I'm doing this one in white. Like so. So I don't know what sort of flowers these are pretending to be. I've just been away in the Cotswolds for a few days with my sister, and we went to Highgrove Gardens, which is where King Charles, that's his home in Gloucestershire. Very, very regimented going around there. You're not allowed to just wander around the gardens. You have to go with a guide at a particular point time. But it was really interesting. Very informal gardens. He's very much let nature do its thing. He's not so they'd built a little sort of not a shed, little house. Because an oak sapling had started to grow, they'd actually cut a hole in the roof to let the sapling grow rather than take it out and destroy it. I thought that was quite sweet. So that was really interesting. We weren't allowed any photography at Highgrove, so yeah, couldn't take any photos. And then on another day we went to Hidcote Gardens, which is a National Trust place, and that was lovely. Completely different, very formal gardens, but again very lovely. Had a lovely time, and the rain gods were so good to us because it was meant to rain every day and we avoided it every day, so we were really, really lucky with the weather. Right, so those are my flowers. Those are those flowers. Now, one of these stems with 3 buds I have put together. Like so. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So I hope you're all getting as enthused about these dies as I am, because I think they're great and I couldn't wait to have them in my sticky little hands. And I've seen lots of people do lots of things with them already, and I think they're going to be a big hit. And also I'm looking for, what I'm going to do is try and combine them with some quilling as well. So I think they'd just be great for that. Right, and that's just the little flower buds. Aren't they cute? Imagine you could do a whole vase full of those. I think I might do that one day. And then this one, I've just die cut that and I'm using it as it is. Goes in there, and then it's just these 2 leaves, which actually I did trim down a bit, but I'll wait until I get to my card before I do that. And then the last thing I need to do before I find my card blank again is just to do the sentiment, which is birthday wishes from the Sending Smiles set. So we've got lots of these, so we could have a note of thanks, birthday wishes, love and big hugs, smiles across the miles, lots of greetings there. But because I'm sending out lots of birthday cards at the minute, I'm going to do it as a birthday. So I just need a little bit of Whisper White. That'll do. That'll do nicely. And I'm just going to clean this because I've got a feeling I haven't cleaned it since I used Fresh Freesia. So just clean that off on my very messy chamois that still works perfectly. And then I'm going to grab Petal Pink. That Petal Pink is so faded. Get a lot of sunlight in my room, and so a lot of things get very, very faded. Ooh, little white things on there. Must have been using white embossing powder, I think. I hope this is going to be dark enough. If it's not, I'll have to have a rethink about maybe stamping it in grey or something, but let's see what happens. Oh, I think that's dark enough. That'll show up. That'll be fine. Right, now this is a tiny little bit of paper, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it by eye, which won't be as pristine as it would be by trimmer, but hey ho, I think it'll be near enough. There are some little shapes in the Sending Smiles die set. Can't remember what the dies are called. Thank goodness Stampin' Up have called the dies, and the stamp set's the same thing now, so I don't have to remember what the dies are called. Right, we're ready to roll now. Let's find the card blank. So here we are. So we're going to have 2 flowers here. Didn't put any of these on dimensionals, but they have got a bit of dimensional for themselves. So that goes like that, and then these are going to pop under here and under here, and then like I say, I trimmed the leaf off a little bit. So that's our basic. Just don't want to lose my I don't know what I've done with my my birthday message now. It's gone. Might have to do that again in a minute. Hey ho. I'm always losing things when I craft. Right, okay, let's try and put this all together. Yep, Virus, Joe is saying about the yeah, it was a shame about the photos at Highgrove. Very high security, as you can imagine there. So like I said, you weren't allowed to just wander through the gardens. You could only go with a guide at a certain, you had to book a tour at a certain time. And they took you around the bits of the garden that you were allowed to go in. But actually really worth a visit. It was really lovely, really interesting to see. And considering that it was an absolute blank canvas when Prince Charles, as he was then, arrived, it was very interesting. There we go. There and there. So that the glue is still wet enough to lift that up to pop them under. So I'm not gluing down the buds. I'm only gluing down the ends of the stem so that there's a little bit of dimension coming off those as well. Not from any dimensionals or anything, but just there. And oh, I've stuck that one down. Trying to get it out. Right, now what I did with here is I cut this one off, 2 leaves off here, and I'm saving them because they might reappear in a future project. Those leaves, waste not, want not. And then I can cut this down a little bit as well, and then that tucks into there like that. So cute. Really loving this set. Love it nearly as much as the Pierced Blooms. Do you remember that set? That was a really lovely set as well. In fact, that's still in my collection. I haven't got rid of that. And then this one, I just cut the 2 bottom leaves off, I think. If I remember rightly. I was doing this while I was watching the Eurovision Song Contest last night. So had half an eye on the contest and half an eye on my card. No, I was enjoying Jez's comments. It's at the top. Oh, it is at the top of my page. Thank you, Sue. It is. I can see it. As soon as you said that, I can see it. Excellent. Thank you. There we go. Right. Okay. And then just the ferny little bit. Put that in there. That just gives a bit more dimension and fills it out a bit. And there we are. I am loving these dies. Just got to put the birthday wishes sign on there. There we go. I came home. My birthday is on Tuesday. It's coming actually. And I came home and my daughter said, "You've got over such a lot of cards." That's it. And there's a whole stack of cards waiting there for me, which I've got a feeling are all going to be from Stampin' Up people. So this is just such a brilliant community that has sent me loads of cards. So despite the fact that I won't have a husband here on my birthday, I will have lots of cards to open. For those of you who don't know, my husband is currently away in France in the camper van for 3 weeks. And I just decided I couldn't cope with 3 weeks in the camper van. So I'm here, and that's why I've been away so much, because I've been enjoying myself here while he's been away in France. But I've been staying in nice people's houses or nice hotels, not in a camper van. Right, enough wittering from me. Those are my cards today. Hope you like them. There you go. Yeah, those are my cards. So I'm going to log off and I'm going to let Jez come on, and then I'll be commenting while she's on. So sorry that we couldn't do this together today. We'll have to try and get it sorted out for next time. But thank you for watching. Hope you like my cards, and I'll pass you over to Jez.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my projects. Now you can pop over and watch Jez's project, and watch her half of the live video and see her amazing projects that she's making. Bye.
Bye.